William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois.
We're going to sleep.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Brooklyn.
What's up?
I'm joined by Jarrell Big Baby Miller. It's been a while.
It's been a little bit, man.
How's the last 6 weeks been for you?
Rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's been rough. Mentally, just with everything going on, being home, and the excitement going around the fight. But I'm all right, man. I still got 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, so I'm still blessed.
I want to kind of backtrack to that 6 weeks. So we, like I said, I'm not sure of the exact date, but we learned of a first failed drug test, and then subsequently 2 days after, another failed 2 drug tests.
Yeah.
So what, can you make some comment as
yeah,
much as you can on this situation?
Most definitely, like I said before, I've passed 2 prior drug tests before that, and it's not failed 3 drug tests, only 2 drug tests, 2 different occasions. And on the GW1516, I paid $1,000 to get my products tested because I know for a fact it's attaining something. And that's why I originally came out with the first video saying there's no way I've done this, because I've not taken any ingredient or anything to give me kind of any advantage. So that kind of really hindered my mental state, like where the hell this thing came from. And I was the one that pushed for the third drug test that came out with the positive for the AGH and APO. I was the one that I want to get tested. I want to get this cannot be real. So when the next test that came out, the third one, I sat back and I said, what the hell is going on? But then going back to figure out when I was guided to a stem cell shot with my elbow, which has growth factors in the NEPO in that one time for the elbow. That's what caused the red flag to go up on the third drug test. And people hear these things and think it's steroid. Nothing that I took was anabolic steroid. None of these things was from muscle gain. And that's the kind of miseducation that the fans and some people have. They don't understand the concept of what I took and what was taken from my injury. There's tons of medical research on what I've taken that you guys can go online. That EPO is used not just for conditioning or cardio, which is not what it was taken for. AGH from my elbow. For you to get any kind of sustainable gain from AGH, you're doing it for 6 months straight with testosterone, supposedly, from what I'm learning. And I was never on it nowhere near that, not even for a week. It was one shot that was given, but it was it was really bad advice. But I own up to it, And I said a lot of fighters will go out there and blame and make excuses. I'm not gonna make excuses. I'm a man. I came from nothing, and sometimes you kind of take a step backwards, you kind of fall, and you got to pick yourself up, brush yourself off. And that's when I initially came. I said, you know what? I just got to own up to it, because the first thing that came out, I had nothing of it, and we're still figuring out how to what way we went wrong with the first one. I paid $6,000 in general to see Varta's doctors to make sure everything that was being taken was doing the right way. And this was just a bad call on my part for my elbow with an injury, and just gotta deal with it, man. Just gotta deal with it. And I'm not gonna sit here and nobody feels sympathy or pity for me. I'm a warrior, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta just fall back and look at yourself as a person and just deal with it.
So Jarrell, just to kind of clarify, and so people know, the first test was for endurable, is that right?
No, there's nothing. The first test was not endurable. I don't know what that even is. It was GW1516. Supposedly it comes up with a different name, as Carterin, something like that. So durable sound like a real. That sound like a testosterone. That was nowhere near anything that was taken. So I don't know what that is.
But the second and third were for human growth hormone and EPO.
Correct.
Okay. So, but people would kind of argue and say someone who's experienced as you in the game must take full responsibility for everything that goes in your body.
Correct.
So, people looking at it from the outside would say there can't be kind of any excuse with that.
I mean, like I said before, if I felt the need to argue on the basis of the point of finger at somebody else, I would. But like I said before, I'm been in the game for a while now, where like, damn, I did this from my elbow, so I got to suck it up and eat it because I take full responsibility. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing. I took full responsibility for it, explained myself to people that needed to be explained, then showed them this is what's going on, this is what it was, and that was it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and pity pat it and sugarcoat it. Yeah, your boy effed up. You know, nobody's perfect. You know what I'm trying to say? And I did something that had nothing to do with put like this. What was taken from my elbow injury? It's 0.02% chance of me gaining any effect of an anabolic gain or something that would help me fight night. Literally. So people say steroid, nothing was a steroid. Nothing was anabolic. So I'm trying to say other fighters in the past took an anabolic steroid. That's not what I took it. So I'm trying to say that's not what was taken. So for them people pointing out and jump on the microphone and jump on the camera and quick to bash me before they do their research, that hurts. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I didn't do any interviews up to this point was because I was trying to give respect to the, you know, Andy and AJ and Matchroom and DAZN. They just do their own thing. Let me step out of the picture right now because you know I can talk a storm. You know I can, you know, shit on a lot of things. But why? Why would I do that? You know, it's just like, yo, listen, man. Y'all gonna love me, you're gonna hate me at the end of the day. The question is, I gotta deal with it mentally. You know, I gotta talk to my team, you know, talk to my peers, you know, look my fans in the eyes. You know what I mean? So like I said, once I'm able to do that, you know, 100%, and I know what I did, and I come clean with what went wrong, yeah, it is what it is, man. Move on to the next.
Do you put responsibility on those around you as well? Your team?
No, because which is something. I've basically been self-managed 90% of my career. So I'm trying to say my promoters up to the point with Eddie Hearn, I've done a lot of things on my own where I had to research and find my own training facilities. Even my own training camp, a lot of it was on my own until I met up with my team, you know, the Washington group and stuff like that. And, you know, now I'm able to lean on other people to figure out where I need help at because I'm so used to doing things on my own. You know, I'm a person where I don't trust nobody. I never really trust nobody. And that's the way I was raised. So for me, in this boxing game, in the demographic how it is, everybody's a dirtball. So in this aspect right here, I'm the one that did it. So I got to take fault for no one to point the blame on. Now in the future now, I sit down with my team. I conduct everything with my team and figure out how should we do things in the future. You know, but at this point right now, there's nobody to blame but myself. You know, I put my mouth and my skills put me in that position to fight AJ. You know what I mean? And it was me that took myself out of position to fight AJ. Now what I got to do is go back to the table, regroup, and figure out how to get back in position.
Obviously, after what had happened 6 weeks ago, everyone kind of in boxing undoubtedly had their opinion on your situation. And there were some kind of strong comments from Eddie Hearn he will see as justifiably. What did you make of kind of what Eddie was saying immediately after?
You know, it's a big show. A lot of money's involved. And sometimes people get emotional and say irrational things at the time. But sometimes we give each people space, like in a relationship. You know, if you're arguing with your mistress, you give them space. And then you come back and regroup and figure out what was said, what we went wrong at. Like, I have no animosity in my heart for Eddie. I know he's angry. He had a lot of riding on this. He helped build my career the last year and a half. So I understand how he feels. Yes, if it was my situation, another way around, I'd handle a lot more different. But like I said, I still got love for Eddie. You know what I mean? And you know, I still got mad love for DAZN. I think DAZN is a great platform. You know, and I think when the time comes around again to revisit the big baby DAZN Matchroom situation, I think it's gonna come around. You know, sooner than later. But I mean, Eddie's a good dude. You know what I mean? Despite what he said on camera, and it hurts because you know, he said from Brooklyn. You know, I could cuss and say a lot of ignorant stuff, but like I said, sometimes when things don't go the right way, we say irrational things. So I'm trying to say. So, like I said, man, give Eddie his space, do his thing. He's dealing with a lot now right now, and you know, at the end of the day, it's much love. When there's animosity and hate, I know when that is there. Ain't nothing like that. Sometimes people just say things in the wrong heated moment.
We'll talk about what kind of transpired at Madison Square Garden last night, first of all. But what do you say to Anthony Joshua? Forget about last night for a second. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what do you say to Anthony Joshua for kind of this situation? Because I've not really kind of heard you kind of comment towards Joshua. You know, what do you say to him?
I know he in some interviews AJ was very respectful, and in some interviews he would throw shade on throw dirt on me. Personally, I still don't like AJ, but like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and point the finger at him. Listen, I went wrong. I'm gonna deal with it, and I'll be back. You know, handle your business. I'm gonna handle my business. That's before the fight happened. Before the Andy Ruiz AJ fight happened, I'm gonna handle my business, but don't worry, I'll be back.
What people will want to know as well, what are you doing currently to kind of make sure that the situation you found yourself in never happens again?
Oh, so right now we start Varta, and Varta Test in about a week or two, and we'll be on that for about 6 months straight. You know, just getting everything in line with the commission, with the sanctioning body, showing that we're 100% clean, that this is a one-time mistake, that this was an accident, this was not me, this was me being at fault, not doing my hard business, being neglectful of a situation, and just working towards being a better person and a better fighter. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing: is taking the right steps, making sure everybody that's in the boxing organization know that Big Baby's coming, but he's doing it the right way. Period.
Do you accept though, you know, people kind of, like I said, just from the outside looking in at this doesn't look like a great and a positive situation at all. Just from the outside looking in, it looks like a really bad situation that you found yourself in.
I mean, most definitely, but if you that's the thing I don't like about how some athletes put this fake on. Like Tupac always says, I want to be a real model, not a role model. And I feel like me being a real model is that we're gonna fall. It's how you pick yourself and brush yourself and keep it going. Nothing in my life has ever been perfect. Man, I slept on the floor for 15 years. I had to jump the train store down the block to come to the gym down the block, which is Gleason Gym. So I'm trying to say, 8 Vienna can sausages and 25-cent granola bars to feed myself while I was going to the gym, and $1 in a dream. So not everything I've done up to the point was legitimate or legal, but I've learned to grow past that and become a better human being. That's what I'm trying to say. So like in life, everybody make mistakes. All of us fall a little short of God's glory. The question is, how do you fix that stuff? How do you repent and come back to be better than that? So I'm trying to say, and I told my son, you know what I mean, the hard things we told my son is, you know, he's 8 and he's so conscious. You know, I never, from the time he was born, I never said goo goo gaga. It was always, you're gonna sit up and you're gonna eat your food. And even to this day, Dad, why you didn't fight? I said, you know what? I said, Daddy took some stuff he wasn't supposed to take. Not intentional, but Daddy got to take some time away from boxing and fix everything and be back. And my son said, you know what, Daddy, you're a strong guy. You got this, don't worry. And after they slapped me back up in my head and ran off. You know what I mean? So that was the toughest part, looking at myself in the mirror, but looking to my son. And I've never lied to my son. I always tell him the truth. Like, this is what it is. Like, you know, you're not getting a new bicycle today because your grades suck, you know? So I think the same situation, you know, and him becoming a man and me becoming into an older man is about sending the right message. If you mess up, okay, you do the time, you pay the crime. You do the crime, you do the time, man. So, like I said, man, it was one of those things where I had to sit back and say, damn, I messed this one up. You know, I messed this one up. Nobody else, I messed this up. And I said, man, I'm not gonna sit here and hide and make a whole bunch of excuses and cry and complain about it. Just sit back and say, you know what, just deal with it. Deal with it like a man. Deal with it like a champion. Come forward.
How much damage do you think this has done to your career?
Not a lot. You know, not a lot, because one thing I said, I've never put this front on of being something I never was. So I'm trying to say, I've always speak my mind. I always step up to the plate. I've fought to get here. Nobody give me nothing. It's definitely a step back, but if done the right way with the right strategic planning, it moves in the right direction. So I'm trying to say, because everybody like a good comeback story, or somebody who's fell off and came back, or someone that's real. You know what I mean? Like, if you want the paper doll and the made up Barbie dolls, that's not real life. You want someone that looks simultaneously just like you, or come from a background like you, has mistakes and fall off just like you. And yo, how did he do that? Yo, Big Baby fell off, but look how he coming back, champ. You know what I mean? So I want to be that real model of saying, listen, man, there's always gonna be something in front of you. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of reasons why I was quiet too when I came back from New York from training camp. When training camp came to stop, you know, losing 2 of my good friends, you know, one down on a motorcycle by a drunk driver, and you know, his family not having enough to even pay for the funeral. You know, me stepping up to try and help the family. Like, even that bothered me so much, because growing up together, man, we had plans of doing things when I made it and stuff like that, and now it's kind of cut short. You know what I'm trying to say? So him passing away, and you know, that, and seeing his mother cry at the funeral was like, damn, man, I really got to step my game up, man, because it could have been me in this coffin right here. You know, I really got to just sit down and figure stuff out, you know, and become a better person, because you never know. Tomorrow ain't promised, man. Tomorrow's never promised.
How have you dealt with the financial hit of this? Because obviously there was a reported 6, possibly 7 million that you were earning for this fight, which was kind of, which you're not, basically. So how have you kind of got around that?
Yeah, most definitely. I had just bought a new crib before I went to training camp. But I had a couple of nest eggs sitting down, and I was able to. It's gonna financially help me get to the next fight. But of course, you know what I mean. But if money was the reason why I got into boxing, it was the wrong reason to. You know what I mean. And at the same time, I've learned that you can't miss something you never had. So I'm trying to say, I always knew that. Like, I'm not gonna count my eggs before they hatch. I'm never gonna miss something I never had. And I have a good support team as well too. My wife Michelle and my family, my mother. They back me. So I'm trying to say. So God forbid if I got to play the fool next week. I got 6, 7 aunts and uncles in the 5 bros and 40-something cousins in the 5 bros alone. So I can always get to play the fool. So I ain't worried about that. Now, once I get to play the fool, I don't need a dollar in my pockets. Best believe me, I'm gonna find a way to survive. You know what I mean? And that's the mentality I've always had. And it's gotta be a hustler. In and out, gotta be a hustler.
Does part of you think that it will be difficult for you to get the opportunity you had again?
To fight Agent MSG in my hometown where it was
3 world title belts.
Yeah, most
that situation.
I don't think that's gonna happen the exact way it is going on because I don't think AJ's gonna want to fight America anytime soon, and that's if he can get his belts back too. Will I get another title shot? No, hands down, I'm gonna get a title shot. And I think it's gonna come a lot sooner than most people might think. Just because, not that I'm being, looking past anybody. It's just the demographic of the heavyweight division. There's so many different routes you can go strategically. And like I said, I'm an entertaining dude. You know what I mean? But I said, like, everything has to be done playing right. Everything has to be done right, done respectfully at the same time. And this come back, 100%. But I feel like it's gonna come, and they come at any moment. One person's downfall can be Andy Ruiz's upfall, just like my other way around as well too. So, boxing is a playing field that a game of chess that can change at any moment. It's never quite checkmate in this sport.
I just want to ask you around that situation. Obviously, Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua had to act quickly. So, a lot of opponents were being listed. Luis Ortiz, Adam Kawanaki, Manuel Char, obviously Andy Ruiz. What was going on through your head when you were hearing every day? These guys where I should have been are going to be potentially fighting. And what were your thoughts on that time?
Coming to realization that our opportunity is missed, but man, just sitting back and pray. Let's sit back and pray and just staying relaxed. Don't do nothing rational. Don't explode. Talk to my team. Talk to my family. Everybody calling me. You all right? They think I'm about to jump off a bridge. You know what I mean? But I'm like, nah, I'm all right. Mentally I'm all right because. I've always had this thing in me. It's like once I say I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? If we're going to go rob a bank and everybody's like, I'm not sure we're going to do it. The minute I say I'm ready to go, like I'm going guns in, guns blazing, I'm going in and rob this bank. And I mean, so once I make my mindset to make something up, there's no way you're going to stop me. And I was the same way when the fight kind of got done. Like, you okay? It's happened. We got to deal with it. But of course you're going to hear chitter chatter and bugs in the air and things are going to bother you. You know what I mean? That's just part of being a human being. But it's how you really sit down when things are going wrong and all the fireworks and bombs are going off. How you handle the situation really makes what kind of man you are.
How optimistic are you that you could potentially ever work with Hearn, Matchroom, DAZN again?
Pretty optimistic. And the reason why I say that is that you never close a door. You know what I mean? Even though I messed up, the door hinges on this one right now. Certain things are fixable. You know what I mean? And like I said before, it's all about having a conversation. It's all about putting your right foot forward, admitting to your faults, dealing with them, and coming as a team. And at times you figure out what networks people really are behind you. So I'm trying to say because we have other fighters that have failed, big names have failed before, but the way how their team handles it and comes back really shows you who they're fighting for. Of course, you got to be worth a couple $1 million too. That helps a lot. But I feel like certain relationships are definitely there, and I feel like once you sit down and have a conversation, we're all human beings. Regardless of the CEO or the CFO or the guy that's mopping floors every night. Once it comes down to a conversation and you one-on-one with a man or a woman, things change a lot quicker than people think.
There seems to be kind of a real grey area around an inconsistency with what happens when people fail drug tests. There's people out there that believe that you shouldn't ever box again. What do you say to that?
I mean, put it like this: if you're perfect and you've never done nothing in your life wrong, then I guess you're closer to being Jesus than anybody else. Then I guess you're right in some way. But if you've done something wrong in your life, or if you're not perfect, then you understand where I'm coming from. So I'm trying to say, I'm not the first person to fall off, and I'm not going to be the last person to fall off. You know what I mean? But it's part of life. It's a learning experience, and we got to deal with it. So like I said, you got to deal with it. I mean, the minute you keep running away from it, it's going to be problems. You guys got to deal with it head on, man, and just man up and deal with it.
I will say there is an inconsistency around these kind of situations, and it, you know, I was having this conversation with someone around the time, and I said you can't say ban Jarrell, but not ban XYZ who have failed tests just because you favour that fighter.
Correct.
And that's what it comes down to sometimes within boxing, that who you believe. Do you believe their story? Do you not believe their story? Do you believe they intentionally took something? But it comes down to your opinion of whether you believe whether, you know, listen, there's people that have failed tests on shows week in, week out.
Correct.
So again, that comes down to, you know, I like him. He's all right.
Yeah, another one
but
I don't like.
I don't like Jarrell, so he should be banned for life. So that's the part that I don't, you know, I don't kind of agree with. I think it should be a level playing field. If you're gonna give him 2-year ban, give him 2-year. Do it across the whole thing. If you're gonna ban them for life, ban everyone.
Yeah, correct.
So
I mean, that's like I say, you know, it's everything. Everybody has their opinion. You understand, man? But I'm a Brooklyn, New Yorker that has a brash mouth and a set of skills. I'm very brute. So sometimes when you're a brute and people don't like it, we don't like it because they don't understand where I come from. You know what I'm saying? But most people that come from where I come from, even Dylan White was saying some stuff on camera. Dylan White hit me and we were talking. He's like, man, just hold your head up, man, and just deal with it, and you come back stronger. And that to me meant so much coming from Dylan White, because we had exchange of bad words on and off. Yes, on and off. Okay. You know what I mean? But like I said before, I respect a lot of guys when it comes. I respect every fighter, but it's a different kind of respect when I can have a conversation with you and I say, this dude's a monster. I respect him because I know, you know, he's something different about him than some other guys, you know. So when me and Dylan White had a conversation, that meant a lot to me because I understand his background.
How long ago was that?
Maybe 4 or 5 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Recently, you know. Even Tyson Fury, you know, we all say crazy stuff on camera, but like I said before, we've all been through some stuff, you know, and we come from some of the backgrounds. Even Tyson Fury being the Gypsy King and how he grew up, I understand so much about him. So I'm trying to say, so we talk stuff about each other on camera, and we're fighters. If you can take it, you gotta know how to. If you can give it, you gotta know how to take it as well. You know what I mean? So that meant a lot from me too. You know, me and Andy RUIZ is gonna help me come to training camp and spar against AJ. And a lot of people say, why would you bring Andy? Because Andy's so short. I said, it's not about the height. Andy throws a lot of combinations, a lot of punches. I'm gonna have to double up on my punch output just keep it with Andy. So even these guys, Andy RUIZ, Joseph Polk, Adam Kownacki, Tyson Fury, these are guys that I talk to on a constant basis, but in a respectful way. I respect these guys because I'm like, wow, man, these are some really good dudes. There are a few knuckleheads, I ain't gonna say their name, but they're American that you know how they act, but I mean, it was dope, man. It was dope to get that kind of vibe back from other colleagues and, you know, just kind of keep my head up and, you know, just deal with it.
Let's talk about last night. It must have been very strange for you sitting there watching wherever you were watching that, because you know, it was strange for everyone in the garden watching it. What transpired with a quite sensational win for Andy RUIZ.
Yeah.
What on earth was going on through your brain when you were watching that last night?
It hurt. It hurt. But at the end of the day, I was happy for Andy because Andy's a good dude. You know what I mean? And we've talked, you know, countless times. You know what I mean? We even had our little share of words back in a couple years ago. But I mean, if you could say root for any underdog, you know, other than a couple other guys and myself, Andy's a good dude. You know what I mean? So deep down in my heart, I'm happy for him. You know, right hand of God, I'm happy for the dude. Am I a little hurt because it wasn't me? Of course. I'm a fighter. You know, I'm a human being. Of course I'm going to be a little hurt. But, you know, sometimes the stars don't line up the way you want them to line up. You know, certain things are in front of you. Some good doors open up for me recently, too, as well. I won't say exactly what it is yet. But One of my things is one of my good friends that was shot and killed when I was young used to always say this to me. It is what it is. How you gonna look at it? It is what it is. And that plays in my head sometimes. I can see him saying it to me because, when my brother, he got sent back to Jamaica due to some craziness, and he sent his friends really watch over me, and then he ended up passing away. He used to always tell me this, man. It is what it is. How you gonna deal with it? And I just, either you can get mad or you get glad and figure it out. So like I said, I'm not gonna get mad. I'm gonna get glad and figure it out. And Andy deserves the first Mexican heavyweight champ. That's dope. You know what I mean? And I said, me from Belize, Mexico and Belize right next to each other. We're like cousins. You know what I mean? So never know. Me and Andy might be long lost cousins. So that's dope. Seeing my cousin win and get the title. But like I said, man, I hope he enjoys it and have fun with it. A lot of people are gonna come out the woodworks and be disrespectful and I'm gonna fight Andy now and da da da. But he did a great, phenomenal job representing for the big boys, man.
What did you think of Joshua's performance, and did you think he was himself? What was your kind of assessment of his performance?
I'm not gonna make no excuses for Anthony Joshua. He's like he's said before. He's a landlord. He knows how the sport goes. He lost one. If he's a champion that everybody think he is, he'll be back. And it's boxing. Anything can happen. And that's part of the game. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit there and kick him while he's down. Even though he says some grimy stuff about me when not my situation, and he says some good stuff here and there. But it's boxing. It's boxing. It's a game.
Were you pleased he lost?
Part
of you? If you're talking honestly, it's not about being. It's not about being happy for Andy.
Yeah. Please. I don't know the word you mean by please. Like, I'm happy. No, I'm a killer. I'd rather me killing myself. You know what I mean? If you want to put it in.
Your mentality was that should have been me.
Should have been me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying. I'm how can I say? I'm more neutral in favor that I'm happy the homie Andy won, and I'm kind of sad that AJ lost, but it's the fight game. You know what I'm trying to say? One opportunity to miss another man's game. So I'm not going to sit here and praise another man for his downfall like some did to me. All I'm going to say is that he was champ. He had a good run. If he's a champ that everybody think he is, and he think he is, he'll be back. Plain and simple.
Jarrell, what is your situation regard? You can probably clarify some of this. No one's banned you?
Yeah, I got 6 months.
You got 6 months from the New York State Commission, is that right?
From the WB.
Oh, no, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
The commission didn't renew your license, is that right?
Correct, for this fight.
For this fight?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So, if you were to reapply for a license after whenever?
Well, once you're suspended from any sanction, nobody's suspended from all.
Yeah.
And then you're suspended from states that are aligned with New York State Commission rules. And but out of respect, even there's a lot of things that fighters can do, different countries, stuff like that. But out of respect for my sport and respect for the governing bodies, I'm not fighting nowhere until,
that time is up.
Yeah, the time is up, and we get them a couple positive negative drug tests that we're on the right path. Because like I said before, it wasn't taken initially for any kind of gain that people think it is. So I want to show the fans, show the commissioner bodies, show the sanction bodies that we're doing the right thing and putting our best foot forward. So there's no reason for me to fight right now because mentally, I want them to know that what I'm doing is the right thing that I'm doing.
When is that ban dated from? When's the start? When was the start?
It started from March 20th from the initial when they found out. So the ban.
So you're around halfway through it?
Yeah, close to halfway through it. Right
So do
now.
you believe you'll be fighting by the end of the year?
That's the goal. I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal. I mean, I'm a fighter, and sooner the better. Sooner the better.
Well,
come on. I know you want to ask me, man. Go, man.
no,
Man.
Listen, it's just.
Man.
Like I said, just watching, it was just a disappointing situation, and
I know.
It doesn't mean me to tell you that, or people around you to tell you that. It was just the whole situation. It was like, nah, not Miller,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, man. Trust me, man. I cried once. I was sitting in the car driving to the gym, And I was still going to the gym, you know, weeks after the whole thing happened. And I sat in our crowd once, man. I went to the beach. I looked at the sky and I said, God, man, if you got a plan for me, man, give me a heads up, because your boy feel lost. You know, it's one of those minutes, you know what I mean? You know, not growing up with much and dealing with stuff and finally getting some kind of leeway in life, and then bang, you get hit with that shot. It's like, damn. Man, it fucking hurt. It hurt, you know, but like I said, man, I'm still alive. And that's what means the most. You're still able to do something positive off something that was negative. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've lost a couple good friends in my life. Some of the gang violence, streets, whatever you want to call it, natural causes, you know. And 4 people that I know very close to me died already this year, you know. And I look at that and I say, damn, I messed myself up. So why the hell am I complaining about? How you gonna fix that? You know what I mean? Like I already made an oath to my boy when seen him laying in the coffin, looking at him, man, and tears coming from my eye. And I know he got 4 kids, and I'm like, who really gonna take after these kids this way? And I'm like, man, I made the oath, man. When I become world champ, man, I'm gonna help his kids go through college. You know what I mean? Like that's, I'm gonna get teary right now, but it you become human sometimes even more than you was when you see certain things. Will this situation humble me? Yeah, in some ways definitely will. You know what I mean? But am I gonna change myself from being Big Baby? Hell no. I'm not gonna change from being Big Baby. But seeing my friend in that coffin, it definitely humbled me in the experience to understand that you got one chance in life, baby. One chance. One chance. There's no reset buttons. You know, there's no rewind. It's just press play, no pause, keep going. You know what I mean? And if I could give any advice to anybody, man, don't let nobody tell you nothing. You gotta continue living. You know, if you fall short of God's glory, that you feel like you're not perfect, just keep pushing forward, man. Everybody, you're gonna have haters everywhere you go. You're gonna hate you or love you regardless. You know, they're gonna hate any reason because he has a belly or he's Mexican or, you know, Donald Trump don't like Mexican. I mean, it can be anything you want. People don't gonna like you. The question is what you believe in yourself. You know what I mean? When you look in the mirror every day, and that's how I feel with myself. Can I look in the mirror honestly every day since this thing happened and look at myself saying I'm a man? And I'm like, damn right I'm a man. A good damn man. The question is how you transition that in the world. How you become better.
Can you categorically say that you will never find yourself in this position again?
Never.
You can say that?
I'd never. Because I look at cheeseburgers different now. I look at you, I'm like, yo, this Big Mac, you know, Canelo did say something about this beef, you know. Let me not even, hold on.
So everyone was saying, what the fuck is in these cheeseburgers?
Yo, I'm telling you,
keep
bro.
talking about. But this is a simple question, but are you sorry?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm sorry. You know, I mean, oh man, I think sorry's an understatement, bro. You know what I mean? Because I only robbed myself of opportunity, you know, because I always tell myself, it was just me that was in the ring fighting for myself. I might not have gone as far. And yeah, I'm good. But when you have a family, a mother, a son, a wife, a country, or countries behind you, and people notice you, I think I love about New York too is different. Sometimes people might be from certain parts of the world, and there's only one ethnic group, per se, that really fawns that person. You know, being from Brooklyn alone, everybody recognizes me, you know, and I'm more recognizable now due to this crazy fiasco that's happened, but it's always like, man, you're a New Yorker, man. You know how things go up and down, baby. Get back in the racehorse, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, appreciate it, man. And that's that New York spirit that's like, New Yorkers, we ain't perfect. We're gritty as hell. We're grumpy at times, but we continue to find strength in going forward, you know what I mean? And I remember I was in Canada for a year when 9/11 happened. I never cried so much in my life. My aunt didn't go to work that day. And it was crazy when I came home the following year. The city was vibing and starting to move, and I'm like, damn, we just had that catastrophic event, but the city finds a way to pick itself up. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of thing the city does to people that come here and live here, move here, or migrate here. The cold, the bitter, the rain, it strengthens you. You know what I mean? You're gonna fall short sometimes, but it strengthens you. You know, and I felt one situation where it strengthens me. I go do my homework, sit down with my team. I said, listen, man, handlers, man. Just handlers.
I just want to pick up on something you said about 10 minutes ago. You said about you're being Varta tested now. Is that voluntarily or is that through you have to?
No. So we're doing that voluntarily on my own.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're paying out of pocket. Like we're gonna do that and show the sanctioning bodies in the media.
Is that something you decided to do or your team
Yeah,
decided
hell
to do?
yeah, I decided to do it. And my team, of course, all came together, decided to do it. Yeah, But like I said before, it was something that was by default that happened. That wasn't intentional. That happened. So the best way to clean that up is by let's. And I want to work with Varta again, even though I said things in the past about Varta that didn't seem so clear. I'm like, you know what? Let me work with Varta so they become clear. Let me show the fans like there's some things some gray area in here that they don't clarify up that we don't know about. Let's work together and figure this crap out because I don't want the next fighter going through what I went through, and I don't want to go through this again. So let me call Varta. Varta gonna know my name very well in the office. Listen, there's a coffee in Starbucks that I want to drink. Can I? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of relationship that I want to have with them. So we never had a situation again because, even though New York State Veterinary Commission, suspend me for my license, it hurt my city. It hurt my city. I grew up in this city. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure we're all on the same page together. And if I have any questions, that there's somebody for me to call and pick up and say, listen, hey, Big Baby's on the phone. He have a question. And that's the kind of relationship I want to have.
Somebody asked me the other day if you were a bad person.
So what happened?
Somebody asked me the other day, you were a bad person.
What'd you say?
I said, no, he's not a bad person. I said, is someone that hasn't failed a drug test a good person?
Correct.
Do you understand what I mean?
Correct,
So it's not. No, I've said it all along. I've had a relationship with you for 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And am I disappointed in your situation? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you are. You haven't got me to tell you that. And I'm sure everyone around you is kind of
Yeah.
disappointed in the situation. But are you a bad person? No, I don't believe you to be. So, like I said, there's a lot of people that kind of double standards with things as well.
I already know, man. It's people that don't even like the situations in their life. They want to quick to point the finger. It's so funny because you're the first person that ever told me about Anthony Johnson. Remember?
Yes.
We was in the MGM Grand Casino.
Google, knock him out.
Google knock him out.
Knock
I was
him out.
almost there, Cooking. I was almost there, bro. Oh man.
Google, knock him out.
I watched that interview so much. I'm like, I'm gonna Google him and I'm gonna knock him out. I never forget that shit, bro. But that's life, though, man. That's freaking life, bro. It's life, man. It's life.
But listen. You're gonna do what you need to do to put this situation right.
Correct.
You can't keep banging. Like people can't keep banging the drum about it.
Correct.
Once the situation's over, it's over. You're taking full responsibility for what you're doing. And I don't really know what more you can do apart from kind of like with the Varta testing, etc., to kind of show people that I'm trying to put it right. So.
Like I said, man, some people gonna love you, some people gonna hate you. It's plain and simple, man. I mean, I'm not here to please everybody. You know what I mean? I'm a fighter at the end of the day, but I'm a human being first. You know what I mean? And I'm still a person of God, and I believe that sometimes when we make a mistake, you gotta know how to fix it. A lot of people make mistakes, but don't know how to man up and deal with it. I've been man up with a lot of stuff since I was 6-7 years old. My mom being in an abusive relationship, me moving out when I was 17 years old, me hustling on the street selling drugs, me stealing cars. I've had to man up from an early age and deal with a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to say, so this is another step and an amazing book and movie I'm gonna do when I become a champ. That's all it is. That's how I look at it, man. So it's only a chapter added to it, man. And if people don't love realness or understand realness, then you live in a fake world. You're living in the Matrix then. If you feel like everybody's life is perfect. If your favorite superstar or sports players, if it's perfect, then is that the lesson you want to give your kids? These people are perfect? No, nobody's perfect. But when you do fall off, and not if, it's just when, because we all have a mistake here and there, it's how you deal with it. And here's an example of how you deal with it. That's all.
Finally, if people are watching this, who your fans, people that possibly were coming to see you or bought tickets to come and see you, and if anyone feels let down by your situation, what do you say to them finally?
I love you guys. If you still hate me, I still love you. We're fighters. We're human beings. We make mistakes. We just got to man up and deal with it. And I assure you, 110%, 1,000,000,000%, I will be heavyweight world champion someday. And I'll make it up to you guys. You know, I really will make it up to you guys, man. Whatever I do, I'm gonna make it up to you guys, and keep supporting the movement. Because if I'm not one of the biggest heavyweights in the world, I'm one of the realest. That's for sure.
Jarrell Miller, I appreciate your time
Nah, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Sunday here in Brooklyn. And yeah, I hope your situation gets sorted out, and we'll see you back in the ring.
Nah, real soon, man.
When you're in it.
Real soon, man. AJ, hold your head up, bruh. It's only this. You'll be back.
Man.
William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois.
You're going to sleep.